In the annals of human thought, certain works stand as beacons, illuminating the path through suffering, despair, and uncertainty with profound wisdom. Among these, Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning shines with an enduring light. Emerging from the darkest chapters of human history, this book is more than a memoir. It's a guidebook for the soul, a treatise on hope, resilience, and the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit to find meaning, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist, psychiatrist, and Holocaust survivor, wrote this seminal work from the ashes of his own experience in Nazi concentration camps during World War II. In those camps, where suffering was the daily currency and the future seemed to have evaporated, Frankl observed the inner lives of his fellow prisoners, and in those observations, he discovered something remarkable. Even when every external freedom is taken away, one freedom remains: the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Frankl's journey into the heart of suffering began on a cold morning in Vienna, when he and his family were forcibly transported to Theresienstadt and later to Auschwitz and other camps. There, stripped of identity, possessions, and dignity, he was confronted with the raw, existential question: is life worth living? Can meaning be found amid overwhelming loss and pain? The answers he found did not come easily, but they would offer hope to millions. In the camps, Frankl witnessed the gradual dehumanization of his fellow prisoners. Food was scarce, disease rampant, and the threat of death constant. Yet, he noticed a striking difference in the way people responded to these horrors. Some fell into hopelessness and despair, while others clung to life, finding purpose even in the smallest acts. A word of kindness, a memory of loved ones, a glimpse of beauty in a sunset beyond the barbed wire. Frankl realized that those who could find meaning, however fragile, were more likely to survive, not just physically, but spiritually. At the heart of Frankl's philosophy is the concept of logotherapy, a form of existential analysis that views the search for meaning as the primary motivational force in human beings. Unlike Freud's pursuit of pleasure or Adler's quest for power, Frankl believed that what truly drives us is the longing for meaning. When meaning is lost, suffering becomes unbearable. But when we can ascribe meaning to our suffering, we can endure almost anything. Frankl's insights are distilled in his most famous assertion, echoing the words of Nietzsche: "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." In the camps, he saw this truth play out daily. Prisoners who held on to a sense of purpose, whether it was the hope of reuniting with family, the desire to complete an unfinished work, or even the determination to face suffering with dignity, were better equipped to withstand the brutal realities of camp life. He recounts the story of fellow inmates who, upon losing hope, would simply give up. They would smoke their last hidden cigarette, lay down, and refuse to rise again. Their will to live, so closely tied to meaning, had been extinguished. Conversely, a prisoner who saw himself as having a task to fulfill, a message to share, or a loved one to return to, could survive the most harrowing of days. Frankl's reflections reach far beyond the barbed wire fences of Auschwitz. He understood that suffering is a universal condition, not limited to the extremities of war and genocide. Each person, at some point, confronts loss, disappointment, or hardship. The question is not whether suffering will come, but how we will respond when it does. Frankl's answer is both simple and profound. We must find meaning. But what does it mean to find meaning? For Frankl, meaning cannot be given or imposed from without. It must be discovered by each individual in the context of their own life and circumstances. Meaning is unique and specific, varying from person to person and moment to moment. It may be found in work, in love, in the courage to face adversity, or in the acceptance of unavoidable suffering with grace. Frankl illustrates this through poignant examples. He tells of a fellow prisoner who, in the midst of starvation and despair, chose to comfort others, sharing his last morsel of bread. In that selfless act, meaning was created. He recounts his own resolve to survive, fueled by the hope of seeing his wife again, and by the desire to rewrite the manuscript of his life's work, which had been lost upon his arrest. In these moments, suffering was transmuted into purpose. One of Frankl's most enduring lessons is that meaning can be found in three principal ways: by creating a work or accomplishing a deed, by experiencing something or encountering someone, such as love, and by the attitude we take toward unavoidable suffering. Even when we can no longer change a situation, such as an incurable illness or the loss of a loved one, we are challenged to change ourselves, to grow beyond the limitations imposed by external circumstances. Frankl's message is not one of facile optimism or denial of pain. He does not suggest that suffering is inherently good or that it should be sought out. Rather, he insists that when suffering is unavoidable, it presents an opportunity for growth, for the realization of values, and for the assertion of inner freedom. In the words of Frankl, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. This principle has profound implications for all who seek to unlock wisdom in their own lives. It invites us to take responsibility for our attitudes, to recognize that even in the bleakest conditions, we possess the power to choose how we respond. It calls us to look beyond ourselves, to serve others, to love, and to create. In doing so, we build resilience, cultivate hope, and find the courage to face whatever challenges may come. Frankl's legacy lies not only in his survival, but in his deep compassion for the suffering of others. He saw, with clear eyes, the capacity for both good and evil within the human soul. The concentration camps laid bare the extremes, acts of cruelty and degradation, as well as moments of extraordinary kindness and sacrifice. Frankl reminds us that in every moment, we are faced with a choice: to succumb to bitterness and despair, or to rise above, affirming our humanity through love, creativity, and dignity. As Frankl returned to the world after liberation, he found that many people, even those who had never faced the horrors of the camps, struggled with what he called the existential vacuum, a sense of emptiness, meaninglessness, and alienation. In the modern age, with its comforts and distractions, people often numb themselves with pleasure or chase after superficial goals, never confronting the deeper question of meaning. Frankl's logotherapy offers a path out of this vacuum, encouraging us to engage with life's challenges, to seek out meaning in every circumstance, and to live authentically. He urges us to recognize that life ultimately asks us questions, and it is up to us to answer, not with words, but with our actions and attitudes. Each day, each moment, presents us with a unique opportunity to respond, to assert our freedom, and to shape our destiny. Meaning is not discovered in grand gestures or lofty ideals alone, but in the ordinary, everyday moments, in the way we treat others, in the work we do, in the love we give and receive. For those grappling with suffering, loss, or uncertainty, Frankl's words offer solace and guidance. He teaches us that our suffering, while painful, need not be meaningless. By finding purpose within it, whether through serving others, creating beauty, or facing adversity with courage, we transcend our circumstances and affirm the value of our existence. In the end, man's search for meaning is a testament to the indomitable human spirit. It is a call to face life with courage, to seek out meaning in every moment, and to respond to suffering not with despair, but with dignity and hope. Frankl's insights remain as relevant today as they were in the aftermath of war, speaking to all who long for purpose and significance in a world that can often seem chaotic and indifferent. His story reminds us that while we cannot always choose our circumstances, we can always choose our response. In that choice lies our greatest power, our deepest wisdom, and the key to unlocking meaning, even in the darkest of times. As you reflect on the lessons of Viktor Frankl's life and work, consider these questions. What gives your life meaning? How do you respond to suffering and adversity? Where can you find purpose, even when circumstances seem beyond your control? The answers are yours to discover, shaped by your unique journey, your values, and your aspirations. Let Frankl's journey inspire you to look within, to embrace life's challenges with courage, and to seek out meaning in all that you do. For in the search for meaning, we discover not only the purpose of our own lives, but the wisdom to guide others, and the hope to light the way for generations yet to come. As you move forward, remember that the search for meaning is not a destination, but a lifelong journey, a process of growth, discovery, and transformation. Each day offers new opportunities to create, to love, to serve, and to find significance in the tapestry of existence. With Frankl's guidance, may you unlock the wisdom within and find the strength to live with purpose, compassion, and hope, no matter what challenges you may face.